Hi everyone, this is my review, finally, of the ThinAudio HiFi T3, which is this set here. As you can see, this is the new cable, and this is a great cable. This is the design. Those are the foam tips, small size on the box. And I will organize this review in a particular way because I will talk about the T3s by comparing them with other sets that I find similar under certain ways. Okay, mainly the design, because they are all made of metal. They are all sets with good cables, with good prices too. They are pretty cheap. So let's start by ranking them by my favorite to my least favorite in terms of sound. Okay, consider that I produce music, so I search for flatness, balance, and I want a frequency response that that's not enhanced on certain frequencies. Okay, so my favorite set for sound is the advanced M4. This is it with complies. I like this particular set because it's very flat. Okay, I have a preference here, so this is my favorite in terms of sound, of frequency response. This is not the best sounding of the scene here, but it's my favorite. And my least favorite is the T2 Pro. Here it is, by ThinAudio. I don't like this set at all. I can't listen to an entire album with this set because treble is way too enhanced for me, and sibilance is unhearable. Okay, but design is beautiful, and the stock foam tips in blue were too big for me, so I switched to the wide bore stock tips, but the sound is not convincing for me. Someone says that they lack of bass. I don't think they lack of bass. I think they have too much treble. The cable is good, but it's a bit thin, but I like it. Okay, I don't like the overall earphone, so this is my least favorite one. And before I had the T3s, okay, my second favorite was this one. This is completely V-shaped. This is fun to listen to. This is not good for music production because mids are a bit recessed, so you will register voices and they won't sound like you want it to sound. But this is a really good set. Someone says that the design is a clone of the T2 Pros. Okay, they are similar, but they are not clones, in my opinion. The YinYoo V2 are smaller, they are more comfortable. They haven't an MMCX connector, but a 2-pin one. Okay, if I can. It's a 0.78 millimeters. Okay. I like this sound because it's good for every genre. It's not perfect for every genre, but it's the best compromise of the scene, I believe. And it's very cheap because it's $39. The advanced M4 was the same price, I believe. I got them in a period which on Amazon they costed 50 euros. Okay, it's a good price. I like this cable better than this one. This is a good cable too, but it's not removable. Okay, and it has a microphone. Someone may don't like the interference of the microphone in the sound. It's good. It's a very good cable. The L-shaped connector is good. I don't have any problem with this cable, but I prefer this because it's very thick and well made. Okay. Now that I have the T3s, I don't know where to put this set, because if we talk about sound, they are very good under certain ways, like detail, like the frequency response is good. There is more bass than the T2 Pros, which were good for me, but most of the people wanted to sound bassier. Okay, this is bassier than the T2 Pros. And the treble is less emphasized, but for me it's still too harsh, still too sibilant, and I think I like them better, surely better than the T2 Pros, but not as much as the other sets. Okay, so this is my first ranking, and this is my personal preference in sound, but I will do another ranking for you, not based on my sound preference, but on my recommendation to people. The first set I would recommend is YinYoo V2, because as I said before, this is the best compromise. Treble is relaxed but detailed. Mids are a little bit recessed, but they are hearable. Instrument separation is good. Bass is good, punchy and quick. I like this set under every way. Okay, accessories, build quality, design, sound, everything is good about this set. But I don't know if this is the second version or the third version of the or the first one. I believe the second, but there are 3 versions, identical in design but different in tuning. So I recommend these to you with reserve. Okay, the second set I would recommend is the T3s, because they are good for bass, they are good for treble for most people, not for me, but this is a good treble. It's detailed, it's not that harsh as the T2 Pros. It has sparkle, it sounds good for the average consumer, but I don't like it. Okay, I would like to recommend these over the T3s, the advanced M4, but people want bass, people want a fun sounding earphone, and this is too neutral for most of the people, so I will leave them third. And this set here, I wouldn't recommend the T2 Pros to anyone because they are not well tuned at all for me. And I have to say something about the driver configuration of all these sets, because they are all dynamics, but the T3s, which are hybrids. So let's start with the YinYoo V2. They have the same two drivers, two dynamic drivers, one 10mm and one 6mm of the T2 Pros, but as you can see, one is well tuned and one is not. In my opinion, you may like it, you may enjoy it, but I don't, and I can't recommend it to you based from my experience. Okay, the advanced M4 have one dynamic driver, and I believe it's a 6mm one, and it's very good sounding for me. This is my favorite, but this wouldn't be your favorite. Okay, this instead is an hybrid, and there's a 10mm dynamic and a nose balanced armature, which, okay, it's a mainstream choice, as I said on the unboxing, but it's good. I have a lot of hybrid sets which sounds good, but my personal preference is having a dynamic, all dynamic set. Hybrid is difficult to well tune. Okay, so if you want to have more details about the T3s, this is the moment. So I will start talking about the cable, which is the best cable that I have in the house, because I have an aftermarket YinYoo 6-core copper plated cable, but this is a better one, and this is oxygen free too. Oh, look at that. Okay, it was kind of tangling. The connector with this kind of carbon texture is pretty cool, and it's very thick. The design, as you can see, is very similar to the T2 Pros and the T2s that I don't have, but I would like to have them to compare them directly with this set here, because I believe that they sound very similar to this in comparison to the T2 Pros. In the future I will get them, and I will report to you my thoughts. So I have nothing to say about the design, about the build quality, about the accessories, but I would like to have a pochette to carry this set around, because it looks and it is precious. Okay, it's a set that costs more than every other set here, and you have to protect it, because you have to. Okay. The bass is there. The T2 Pro bass may sound recessed. Okay, this bass is good for bass heads too, but bass heads usually like a warm sound. This isn't really a warm sound. This is a warmer sound than T2 Pros, but it's still bright. It's bright and it's sibilant with certain songs. Try Don't Bring Me Down by Sia, and all that album is unhearable with T3s, and it's a pity for me, because I would have liked to love this set, but I can't love it because it's not sounding as I would like to hear. Okay, mids are great. I like voices here, but they have to be voices on the mid area and not on the treble area, because they are too sibilant. T's and S's, they hurt. Okay, so this is a step up from the T2 Pros, but it's not a huge step up, and I can't recommend this set for $10 or $20 more than the T2 Pros. But I would recommend this over the others because it's fun to listen to. It's perfect for most of the albums of the genres that I listen to. There are certain genres which are not great with this, but most of my songs, of my albums, of my artists sounds really good on this. So it's not a solid sounding product, but it's a very good product for most of the people. And if you like, and if you listen to some music which is not treble centered, this sounds very good. So Stage, as I said before, is more intimate than the T2 Pros, and it's not a bad thing because imaging is very good. So sound is not so wide, but every frequency is well reproduced. Every instrument is in its right place. This is the best set under that way, I believe, because Stage is wide, very wide, and imaging too. So this is the wider of the group. This is the second, this is the third, and this is the least wide in Soundstage. But it's good like that. I think you understood my thoughts about the T3s. As you can see, this is, and I have a ranking here, T3s are the second set that I would recommend between these, even though it's not my favorite, but it would be your favorite, I believe. But this is better. I like this better. And as you can see, I did a quick frequency response. From what I hear, I don't mind graphs, but it's for you. So this is flat. This is the advanced M4 frequency response. based on what I hear, and it's very flat but mid-centered. V2 are V-shaped, classic V-shaped sound signature. T2 Pros are pretty flat but too enhanced on treble, and here is T3. T3 is very similar to V2, and this is the this is why I would recommend these two over these two sets to you. But you can see the treble is like the T2 Pro treble that I didn't like, so I would recommend this set to you with reserve too, like the V2. So I would recommend these two, even though they are not the most solid sets in the group. I wouldn't ever recommend the T2 Pro to you, but the most solid of the group is the Advanced M4, so my favorite of the group is this set here. And if you want the most neutral sound possible, this is it. So, see you.